Qué rollo, quiero mandar un saludo a mi amigo Goodfella de parte de tu amigo Jaime Munguía. Un abrazo, carnal. Ánimo.
All right, man. Let's talk about Keith Thurman last night. Well, we already talked about Keith Thurman last night. Let's talk about Keith Thurman versus the field. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Let's talk about Keith Thurman versus Crawford Ugas, Errol Spence. We have more on the Errol Spence front and Keith Thurman front later. Watch out for that video. Like I said before, Keith, everybody was like, well, Keith looked so good in the beginning. And then in the second half, that's what I told you I was going to tell you a lot. Barrios just didn't step it up, which Barrios stepped it up, Barrios probably would have won that fight. Right? And he didn't. You know, he didn't take advantage of Keith Thurman legs not being there late. And he didn't take advantage of hurting Keith Thurman either. He hurt Keith Thurman a few times down the stretch, and he didn't take advantage of it. Okay, he didn't take advantage of that. And like I said, Barrios didn't have much of a chance because Barrios don't have defense and he fight tended. But the thing about Keith started to fade. His legs started to go. A lot of people didn't notice that. But, you know, it's hard to move for 12 rounds. Honestly, it's hard to box for 12 rounds, bro. And asking Keith to move around for 12 rounds, especially as he get older, you know what I'm saying? He needs to develop some type of game like Floyd did. You know, Floyd moved up to 140. He started moving around so much to generate power. And what that also did was it allowed Floyd to preserve his legs a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, one of the things to go is your legs. And when your legs go, you know, then you're not like the fighter that you could be. You know what I'm saying? You're not the fighter that you could be. But you know, with Floyd, you know, he started, you know, fighting more flat-footed, you know, and using speed and burst. And Thurman need to make the adjustment. You can't keep boxing like that, bro. You can't move all night. As you get older, it's gonna get harder and harder and harder. But you talk about him versus a guy like Yordenis Ugas, or you know, somebody like Vergil Ortiz Jaron Ennis. Start off with them first. I don't think he can hang in there with those guys. I think those guys might have a higher probability of stopping Keith Thurman. I think very, very high, higher than Method Man and the Red Man on how high in 420. I just think he don't have the hunger. You know, and people say, well, you know, he has the IQ and he have more speed. Just don't. He can't hang in there with those guys, bro. I tell you that right now. You know, he got a better chance with Crawford and them because the thing about them is people say, well, they don't have experience, but they lack experience. They make up with being spry. You make up that with the speed. They bigger than him. If he had problems touching Mario Barrios, he gonna have problems touching them. So, like I said, those are the two worst matches for him, and maybe some of the other welterweights because they hungry and they don't know fat meat grease. If you say, well, Kavaliauski's heard or Vergil Ortiz. Kavaliauskis is a better puncher than Keith Thurman is in the point. It may be a better puncher than Keith Thurman overall. You know what I'm saying? I was just looking at names. That don't mean because you Keith Thurman and you knocked out named fighters that PBC built up. That don't mean that you're a better puncher than Kavaliauskis. Darnell Boone was a better puncher than, you know, most of the guys that was in the Super World Series boxing Super Series tournament. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Arthur Abraham, he proved to be a better puncher at 68 than Arthur Abraham. Abraham was a devastating puncher at 160 and looked to be a devastating puncher at he looked to be a devastating puncher at 68 when he stopped Jermaine Taylor, but you know, other than that, it didn't translate. His style didn't translate. So yeah, like I said before, man, a lot of people you know, try to compare punchers. It's people guys that's journeymen that punch harder than these guys. That's a fact. So when you talk about him versus Ortiz and Ennis, I just think that's a fight. I don't like the way he took some of the punches last night down the stretch. And like I said, I just don't think the power there to really clip these young guys like that. So I mean, they talk about his ring IQ. I would say that is very overrated. So I said it before, like Vergil over Sean and Keith. You know, obviously I like Jaron Ennis over Sean and Keith. I mean, that just ain't no secret to me. I just think they too hungry. And the way Keith fought last night, he not gonna be able to fight Jaron Ennis like that. He not gonna be able to set the tone like that because Ennis got defense. Ennis' head won't be on the line. You know what I'm saying? And then he won't have an athleticism advantage neither. So same thing with Vergil Ortiz. Similar to Vergil Ortiz. Thing about Vergil Ortiz is his defense is better than Barrios. He's bigger than Barrios as far as height, around the same height. But he's a little thicker than Barrios. And the thing about him is he gonna throw with you. So one thing about Barrios, he gonna throw. I think Barrios stopped Keith too. So it's just my opinion. I kind of agree. Maybe talk about this later. Joe Goosen, rest in peace to his brother Dan Goosen. Mr. Power, he did a list where he had Jaron Ennis over Yordenis Ugas, and I agree with it. People said I have a hard time. Kobe 2K fan said he had a hard time putting a champion Jaron over a champion. I don't care. They giving away belts like they giving away belts like Halloween candy. So that don't matter that you a title holder to me. You know what I'm saying? It's guys in the division that can whoop you. Now, if it was one title, maybe two, I say two at the most, then I'd be like, all right. But Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis just too spry. They may be too spry for Ugas as well, too, as Ennis is Crawford as well, too. All them dudes older. They on the other side of 30. You know what I'm saying? Which, they said prize fighters promise from like 27 to his early 30s. You hear that sometimes. But you talk about Yordenis Ugas. He was at the fight last night. And like I said, I think Ugas got a good chance. You know what I'm saying? I don't think his chance is good as Ortiz and Ennis. I would say that because Ugas can punch. I mean, Ennis and Ortiz can punch. And they got the type of power. People say, well, they ain't really fought nobody, this, that, and the third. You can tell they can punch. They can punch. And Keith can't take it to the body or on the chin no more. It was a couple times where Barrios hurt him on the chin that they ain't call it. But that's just my opinion. Y'all big Lennox Lewis fans, we argued over Lennox and Tyson Fury. I pick who I pick. I pick Fury. But Ugas got a good chance too. And I said the reason Ugas got a good chance to beat Thurman, it looked like he could take a shot, but down the stretch, Ugas gonna make Thurman work for 36 minutes. 36 minutes plus break it down to second, break it down to millisecond, half seconds, whatever. He gonna make Keith Thurman work, and he gonna touch the body. So, and he a counter puncher. So that's my thing about Keith. The first 6 rounds, once again, Keith was had to bank as many rounds in the bank on Ugas. He would. He would have to win as many rounds as he can versus Ugas in the first 6. He would. But it'd be interesting. It'll be interesting. I say that because Ugas fights a very robbable style. And people be laughing when I coined that term robbable in boxing. I even coined robbery as an option. Win, lose, draw, majority, split decision, robbery. We make fights, I let people pick robbery. But it is an overused and abused word in boxing. But thinking about Ugas, I think coming off a Pacquiao victory, confident, cornerman, he might have one of the best cornermen, if not the best cornerman in Ishmael Salas in boxing, let alone the division. And I just think his counterpunch and his pressure make Keith Thurman work. And I think Keith Thurman do a lot of unnecessary movement. I think he winded his shots. And I think Ugas, if anybody can make him pay for winding his shots, other than Pacquiao's, Ugas, and it's Terence Crawford. If there's anybody else that can make him pay, it is Yordenis Ugas, and it is Terence Crawford that can make him pay for winding his shots. I said again, if it's anybody can make him pay for winding up his shots, it's Ugas, Crawford, and Pacquiao gone right now. And that's one of the reasons Floyd would have ate him up. That's why I understand how Floyd and Canelo don't fight certain guys I think they can beat, bro. But that just lets you know them dudes don't want to work for victories no more. And I say that's fine and dandy. You know what I'm saying? That's their prerogative. But like I said before, it's gonna be interesting, bro. Because I think Ugas, gonna make Thurman work. Now, okay, Thurman I'm gonna rank him too, as far as how who Thurman can beat. It can't be on a scale of 1 to 5. But Thurman, bro, he can make Thurman work. But the only issue with Yordenis Ugas is his volume. That's my only issue with Yordenis Ugas is volume. That's it. It's his volume. Do we got enough volume to defeat Yordenis Ugas? I mean, defeat Keith Thurman. If he steps his output out, I just think that I favor Ugas heavy in that fight. But that's an if. If it was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. So you know what I'm saying? That that's if. But I think he can hurt Thurman. I think he got enough power to hurt Thurman, bro. By far, to the body, to the head. It's just that he don't follow up. He look at his work. So I think he really got a great chance of defeating him, in my opinion. But also, you talk about guys like Butaev. Let's throw a monkey wrench in there before we get to Errol and Terence. Talk about a guy like Butaev, right? Think about Butaev. Got a hell of a shot because he can crack. And he going to stay on top of Thurman. The question, can Thurman hurt Butaev to keep him off of him? If he can't hurt Butaev, it's going to be a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Butaev can punch. And Butaev showed that, since he get with Joel Diaz, shout out to Joel Diaz, gave me one of my first interviews back in the day when I worked over at Colossal Sports TV. I go subscribed over there. Think about Radzhab and Butaev is he gonna make you gotta hurt him. If you don't hurt him to keep him off of him, he gonna cause all these jokers problems. And I'm gonna throw him in there. I'm gonna throw him in there. He gonna hurt you. He gonna hurt you and he gonna break you down. And somebody like Keith Thurman, who punch resistance starting to go, he's a player. He's a player in the game. Most definitely might be a champion. Get a shot. He a player in the would have upset it or did his Ugas. I don't see it and stay honest, but Butaev is definitely a player in the game, man. David Arverigian, I don't think he got enough, but I think Butaev potentially got enough to put somebody power out, and I think that makes him a player because I think when you look at his box reg, I think a lot of these dudes, none of these dudes fought punches like Butaev. Let's be real. None of the guys I named really fought devastated. But now, or in this Ugas did fight at Miramar. His power was hyped up. This dude got a 73% knockout ratio, and he literally can punch. Literally. In one dispute, he had no contest. That was some old boy popped hot. So this dude is a player because he can crack. And he with Joel Diaz, he pretty much getting in his prime, and big guy too. So don't sleep on this kid, man. He getting that professional training from Joel Diaz now, the top level professional training, and you got to put him in the mix too. And I think he have a chance versus Thurman as well too. But maybe Thurman to be able to beat that kind of Eastern European style that he got. But talk about Errol Spence. I heard that's a fight that can happen next. I'll talk about that in a minute. Talk about a guy like Errol Spence. I think Errol have a little bit of problem early on with his perpetual movement. Keith Thurman moved pretty good in the first half. But the thing about Errol, can he step it up down the stretch anymore? We seen the Danny Garcia fight, he started to fade. In the Mikey Garcia fight, when we first started to see him fade. So we got some questions, and rightfully so. They are questions that need to be answered. He did start to, fade in his fights. And if you fade with Keith Thurman, then that's probably going to decision. And that might be a debatable. I think they would favor Errol Spence in one of those decisions. Definitely think they would favor Errol Spence, but like I said before, them both fading down the stretch. I think Keith probably gonna take some early rounds for Errol. Just looking at him as he was. Keith probably gonna steal some rounds from him. And I just think, Earl gonna have Earl ain't really fought nobody with that movement. And if he did, want to fight Terence Crawford, if he did want to fight Terence Crawford, it is be a good guy to get ready. He'd be a good guy to kind of get him ready, but it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see what he look like because Keith's movement gonna give him problems. Early on, Earl ain't fought nobody with the movement of Keith. Sean Porter movement was a little different. It was more of a in your face movement. He's unorthodox. You'll never see another Sean Porter again in Earl career. But his movement as far as in and out laterally picking his shots, he gonna have problems with that, bro. He gonna have problems, and Keith is just gonna. I think you might see Keith go around the guard a couple times. He gonna keep Errol Spence moving off the spot. That's what you're gonna see. He gonna keep Earl moving off the spot. And I think that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get Earl moving off the spot. He gonna keep turning Earl. I think he gonna try to take away Earl jab. And that's exactly what you're gonna see. Gonna keep turning Earl, gonna keep making Earl cut the ring. And that's the thing about it, Triple G, we thought Triple G was really good at cutting the ring off till he fought Canelo. And Canelo ain't got the best feet. So that's gonna be the $1 million question. That's gonna be the $1 million question. When Earl fights him, I can't remember him fighting anybody on this level with the foot movement of Thurman. And I thought last night that Thurman, he might stop Thurman. But I had to think about it for a minute. I just think that Thurman perpetual movement gonna keep him alive. People see Earl just gonna stop him with a body shot. That could be true, but he gonna have to work for that body shot. And Keith Thurman is yet to be stopped to the body. He gonna have to work for that shot. It ain't gonna be easy. He gonna have to work for that shot. And his move, that movement gonna get Earl hell. Early on, that movement gonna get Earl hell. I'll tell you right now, that movement, it's gonna get Earl hell. It's gonna give him hella hell. But like I said, if Earl get his jab going and Keith start to slow down, then Earl gonna have to pick it up. He should be able to stop Keith or beat Keith down the stretch. But like I said before, that ain't no easy fight. Because both these jokers stay at the way too long. And both these jokers start to fade down the back half of their fight. So, like I said before, people just think Errol gonna walk to him and touch his body. It don't work that way. Keep Thurman early on, is slide on the ropes. He come to you, go in and out. He slide, keep giving you different looks. Like I said, same thing about the bar fights. The second half of the 6th round and on, that's what Earl gonna have to do. Earl gonna have to take 3 rounds in the first 6 versus Thurman, as many rounds as he can, and then on the back end, turn it up and try to get him out of there when he started to fade. But early on, that movement gonna get Earl hell. Tell you that right now. That's gonna get Earl hell. Kell Brook, a little bit of movement gave Earl hell. Thurman in and out. It's something that you see like the sparring with the Pacquiao clone before Pacquiao fight closed out. He getting him hella problem. Earl. I don't think Earl was ready for Keith like we thought he was. I don't think he was. I don't think he can. He gonna have problems handling that movement. Even if he fresh and 100%, that movement gonna give him problems. But that's just my opinion. But like I said before, I see what he look like coming back. But right now, I would label that fight a 50-50 fight. Yup, I'm gonna say that's a 50-50 fight after what I seen off of Danny Garcia. Now, what I seen lately, him fight Mikey, Danny, guys like that. A Kell Brook version of him, a Campo version. I still think I thought 50-50. I still think it's 50-50, bro. People think he's just gonna go in there and pick it up, and I don't even say 50-50. Back I don't know back then. Cause I think him close. He was more. He would have picked the pace up when he was able to pick the pace up and close shit out. But still, Thurman had more ring experience. Man, that to be honest, stylistically wise, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight for Earl, bro. Because now he's starting to fade down the back end of the fight. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie, that's a tough fight, man. And I think that's a 50-50 after I even what I seen last night, and I just think Earl just fading. His conditioning ain't what it was. We'll see with the new strength and conditioning coach, Declan Welsh. If he look fresh and he's starting to pick it up down the back end of fights, then y'all have no issue favoring him. But what I seen from Danny Mikey fights, Sean Porter fight, his conditioning was pretty good. Yeah, whatever he did, that it was he was he scored that late knockdown. It wasn't more about power, it's more about technique. But he scored that late knockdown. If he able to have the condition he had in the Sean Porter fight, I would say I would favor him after I seen last. I would favor him. I would favor him 60-40. Yeah, if his condition is good, 60-40, 70-30. I think he step it up and stop Keith down the end. But we gotta see this condition is. I'm just going off his last two fights. Now this fight I think might be a really good one too. I think this might be Crawford's toughest fight at the division. I think it's a cerebral fight for him. I think he understands that he fought Amir Khan, that he had to pick up the pace with Amir Khan. I felt that he knew he had to pick up the pace with Amir Khan, and he started fast versus Amir Khan, and that was something to look at. I think him picking up that pace. I think he gonna start off fast in this fight, bro, and I think he gonna have to start off fast. And like I said, with anybody else, you gotta take the first 3 rounds, and then he gonna start to fade. He gonna start to fade on the back end, and I think that's just what it's gonna be. I think that's just one B. He gonna start to fade on the back end a little bit, and then we gonna have to see that what happened. But I think for the most part, I think Bud understands that. I think Bud understand that he load up on his shots. I think Bud would understand how the length to take advantage of what like Pacquiao did was stepping to him and taking advantage of those looping and loading shots and just touching them. I think he'd counter him to the body. I think he'd punch with him. I think there'll be a couple things that I think he can do. I think a couple things that he would do, and I think that I think it'll be interesting. But I think Bud understands that there's a few things that he could do in this fight, and I think one of the things that he can do in this fight it would be that what Pacquiao did when he winds up, step 2 and 1-2, and Barrios did that in spurts last night. Barrios took advantage of that. Keith would like to reach, so I think it'd be a good fight. I think Crawford will be able to take advantage of his weaknesses early on, and I think that with them knowing he kind of weak to the body, knowing that with his chin kind of not as stable as it, he can get hurt in equilibrium shot. I think they have a good game plan together, but I think the game plan will be just starting off fast, going towards Keith and countering Keith, and that's what it will be. And down the stretch, if he's still there working, I think Crawford can stop him, but I think it's a tough fight because Crawford. I think Crawford defense is going to be tight, but you want to start fast. So I think Thurman is dangerous for him too. With the foot movement and stuff, it'd be an athletic fight. I think it'll be a chess match, but I think Crawford IQ. And then, whoever get hit clean first, it's going to be interesting who can take the power. But Crawford not going to ask for no 10s. That's the difference. So, I mean, I think as far as all the fights that could be made at the division, I think they're all exciting. I think Earl and Thurman is exciting. I think Terence and Thurman is exciting. But to rank them from least hard, I'm going to start off with the least to the highest hardest. I think that Radzhab better Butaev is the least dangerous fight, but it's still a dangerous fight for him. I think the power, the positioning, the posturing for Radzhab is difficult for Thurman. So all these tough fights, in my opinion. Then I would say Yordenis Ugas at is the next highest. So what we got? We got 6. So 5 is Yordenis Ugas. I just think the lack of volume is might hurt him, but I think his style, his counter punching, his pressure style might be there. Then I would say that's 5. So 4, I would say as far as dangerous, 4, I would say Errol Spence. I just think he's starting to fade a little bit. And I don't think he was as dangerous as an opponent for Thurman anymore. I think it's become closer because they both starting to be out the weight. They both started to drain. They both started to fade. So I just think 4 will be him. And I think 3 will be Vergil Ortiz. I think he's very dangerous for him. The young, hungry, ain't won a championship, thirst and hunger for wins. So I think 3 would be Vergil. Then I say 2 would be Terence Crawford. I just think they both older, dangerous. But he is really dangerous. And I say 1 Jaron Ennis just because, him and Vergil is hungrier. But like I said, man, his head movement, his athleticism and foot movement is gonna be tough. But Keith Thurman find things about it. I just think young, the skill set. I mean, you could say him, Crawford, and Vergil could be 1A, 1B, 1C, but I just give it to him because the skill set is tough. Big. Keith Thurman was a tall guy. Keith Thurman was reaching versus a guy who ain't as big or as rangy as he is. So yeah, I'd probably say Ennis 1 just because of the talent that's there, the athletics. And I'm not saying he's better than the rest. I'm just saying stylistically why I think he's most dangerous for Thurman. So that's my list. Shout out to Welterweight Boxing Playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, next subscribe button, the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase chance notification, go live, drop video, want to financial donate financially, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Best way to donate, comment, thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe button, the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase chance notifications. Peace.